Hi. I think we're a little bit early, so I'm glad you tuned in. I'm Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator since 2005, and I'm going to go ahead and look at my laptop and my iPad and my computer and all that, see if I can see your comments and everything, and then I'll be right back with you and we'll get some fun going. Let me see what I've got going on here on my computer. It seems like I got an alert instead of going right to Facebook. So it's amazing how many technical things can happen when you're trying to go live. Let's see where we are. Sorry, we're having trouble with this video. Okay, we're gonna hit refresh. I'll be right with y'all, I promise. In order for me to see your comments, it's easier to see it on the screen. So I'm trying to find it there. Here we go. I think we're cooking with gas. Let's see if, and I just got the stocks coming up instead of comments. Okay, now we've got comments on one. I always like to cover myself and have it on two. So thanks again for tuning in and being patient with me. Still learning all of this technical stuff. Let's see if somebody can make a comment so I'll know I'm live. That would be awesome. Anybody out there? Hello, hello. We shall see. I'm not seeing anybody yet. Let's see. Anybody? Is this going anywhere? Am I broadcasting to my window or what? Let's see. I don't see comments. Anybody out there? We'll give it a little bit. I was just barely on time, which is unusual for me. Oh good, Cindy's watching. Cindy, is everything okay? Can you hear all right and everything? If you can make a comment, good. I see you're there. That's awesome. Just let me know if you see anything I need to change or speak up or whatever. If you'll leave a comment, that'll be great. I'm not sure how many were tuning in. I just ran out of time and couldn't, just ran out of time to remind people. So I did not send out a memo or anything. I put it on my page. I hope that some of you have seen it there. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. I just thought maybe this red lipstick might be a bit much tonight, but it is February still. You know, that's a good month to wear red, right? Well, let's see. It may just be me and you, Cindy. And I have just figured out what cards I was... Oh, Susan's tuned in. Hi, Susan. Glad to have you too. We're going to have y'all meet one of these days when we're able to... Everybody's feels good about coming to actual classes in person. Or maybe when I do an open house or something like that. So I just still look forward to the day. Thank you, Susan, for sharing. I appreciate that. And tonight we're going to talk about Sale-a-bration. Yay! Can you believe it's almost over? Everybody is used to Sale-a-bration being 3 months, all the way from January through March, but it is going to be over on Saturday. So be sure, if you are interested in purchasing anything in the catalog, if you've had some stuff on your wish list, you better get after it because Saturday's the last day. And I don't think I have my current host code out. I forgot to get that. I've been a busy girl. And I'm just going to take that off of my little thing right now. We'll see if anybody else tunes in. I hope if anybody else is out there, y'all will please speak up and comment and let me know you're there. And I promise if you don't say hi, I'll try to catch that. If you don't want anybody to know that you're out there for some reason. But I would really love to know who's there and who's watching and where you're from if you're not from this area. I think you can tell by listening to me where I'm from. But anyway, I hope you're out there. I wanted to talk a little bit about Sale-a-bration. And let's see if I have a catalog handy. I hope I had one moments ago. And you would not believe the mess I have in my office. Well, you probably would, knowing if y'all have been over here. But it's worse of a wreck than usual. But anyway, I'm going to show you several different cards that I've made just in the last hour to show you some cards with the Paper Blooms set that is a designer series paper, or short, it's called DSP, which is also for double-sided paper. So designer series paper or double-sided paper, however you look at it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight, because that's one of the celebration items that you can earn for a $50 purchase. Every $50 that you spend in the annual catalog or the January to June mini catalog, you're eligible to get a gift from Stampin' Up at the $50 level. And if you spend $100 out of the catalogs, you can earn a gift that is the $100 level, or level 2. And there are a couple of those items. So would love to help you with your order. If you have any questions or want to order something from Stampin' Up, just be sure and let me know. And I'll give you a host code to use so that you're eligible for other goodies from me too. But tonight, as I said, we're going to switch the camera around here. I think hopefully we've given everybody time. Let me see what time it is. 4 minutes into it. I think we'll go ahead and switch the camera down, and I'll show you the Saleabration catalog and some of the papers that we're going to be focusing on tonight, and then show you some of the cards we're making. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will switch the camera down. I'm going to put the little post-it note on there, so hopefully it won't bother you as much for me to switch it down. One of these days I'm going to get fancy and learn how to do something else besides this. But right now, this is going to have to do. Give me a minute. I think I'm trying to figure out which one covers the camera. There we go. Okay, we're going to here, here, here. Thanks for staying tuned in while we do this. It's a little hard for me to tell exactly where I am, because it's about a 10-second delay or so before I can see what you see. So hopefully we're in good shape. It looks a little dark here. I don't know why that is. Let me turn on one other light real quick. Room light. That really did not help, did it? Are y'all okay? Can you let me know in the comments? On my iPad, it looks really kind of dark, but on the computer screen, it looks okay. Susan and Cindy, do y'all see a big shadow, or are you good? Just let me know and I'll try to fix it. Okay, as I discussed, we are going to be concentrating on some celebration items, since that runs out February 28th, which is already this Saturday. Can y'all believe it is almost March? Unbelievable. So I don't know. Okay, Cindy, I don't know what's causing it to be dark all of a sudden. I've got my light, I think, on as bright as it'll go, all the way up. I don't know what's causing this. Let me see if I can move this way. Are you still there? It looks like we had a glitch. Everybody there still? Susan and Cindy? Okay. Sorry, I don't know. I haven't changed any of the lighting since last time. So I don't know what the deal is. Just trying to get it a little more focused up there. Let's see. Thanks for being patient with me here. I am just not sure where those shadows are coming from. Let's see if that helps over here. No. Maybe that's causing a shadow. That doesn't help. Huh. Okay. Well, we're going to have to make do with what we have, evidently, because I don't know how to change it. All right. We're going to be looking at the Saleabration catalog, like I said. Sorry, I'm repeating. The paper blooms, this is the designer series paper that we're going to be featuring. Here's a little close-up look at the catalog, and if you don't have one and you're interested in getting one, I still have some left. Would love to run you one by if I get a chance. So that's one of the choices with a $50 purchase. You can also get the Darling Donkeys, the ombre paper. There's a birthday stamp set called Approaching Perfection. Corner Bouquet is another stamp set you're eligible to get for the $50 purchase. You can also get the Heal Your Heart stamp set and the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, which we are using on the Hey Chick bundle that some of you out there purchased. I appreciate that. Then we also have, for a $100 purchase, you have a choice of the Touch of Ink set that has hummingbirds and butterflies. It's really pretty. Or the Berry Blessings that comes with designer series paper with all different colors and kinds of berries, and a stamp set that coordinates with it. So that's awesome. And then if you actually wanted to host a virtual party or host a party yourself, or if you yourself end up at the $300 level, you could earn this punch party set for free too, in addition. And if anybody out there is interested in being a part of my team, I would love to have you on my team. I know Cindy's here. She's on my team. Tanya's on my team. Glad you're here, Tanya. But if anybody's interested in the details, this is a great time before February 28th to sign up for Stampin' Up, and you don't have to sell. It's not not a requirement that you sell. There are a lot of demonstrators out there who choose to be hobby demonstrators, and they just do it for the discount, and there's not a thing wrong with that. So if you'd like to hear more about it, you can get $125 worth of products for just $99 when you join, and then you will also get 5 packages of 6" by 6" designer series paper that is coming out, will be coming out in the new catalog that starts in June of this year. So there are just lots of goodies, lots of ways to participate with Stampin' Up and with my Create with Kelley crew. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm Kelley Pitts with createwithkelley.com, and I'm glad you're part of my crew and tuning in tonight. Okay, we are going to play with the designer series paper. I'm going to show you a couple of cards. This is the only one that I have complete, and I may have shown you this before. This was a fun little mystery stamping night we did with my upline. Thank you for sharing, Susan and Tanya. Appreciate y'all sharing the video with others. But this is called a pocket card, and it is really pretty easy to make. And it is with that paper blooms. I'm going to go ahead and stop and show you the paper blooms paper up close. The paper that I'm using for that particular card, almost all designer series paper is two-sided. So that one has a stripe and floral. The pack also has this big floral that's really pretty, and a green, a little more neutral background, maybe a little kind of a more modern look. We also have this one. The colors featured are Night of Navy and Seaside Spray, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Rococo Rose. On the flip side of that, we have some nice vines. This could go masculine. It could go any time of the year if you're not into the big busy flowers. A lot of people are. I love the bright colors. I love bright, fun, cheery things, but sometimes you need a card that's not that way. So I'm showing you both sides of all the papers that come in that set. And here's another one we'll be using tonight, also with the really big pretty flowers that are easy to fussy cut out. We also have, this is the Rococo Rose side with little bitty flowers. And then this one is really interesting. It could be used as it is with the paper just like this with the polka dots, or if you have some leaf sets or florals that you want to cut out, you can punch them out or put a die on here, and that'll give you that watercolored look instead of having to try to paint that or use a blender pen or anything to get that look. And then here's the other side of that one. So we're going to be playing with those papers tonight. and also playing with the denim ribbon, which I just got in my UPS shipment last night or yesterday. So I'm excited to get to play with that for the first time. Just opened it. So we'll see how that works. Okay, we're back to the first card. That's the pocket card. And we're going to make one very similar to this. It's just going to be a little bit different here. I'm going to use a different sentiment. And yeah, those circles are fun, Susan. I'm glad you like those. I think they'd be fun on a card by themselves, but they're also really pretty when you cut them out with a die or a punch, and we'll try that in a minute. Okay, for this card, this pocket card, Leslie Bumgardner is the one who introduced me to that. This card, I've made pocket cards before, but not exactly like this. So I want to show you kind of how this goes, what we've done, and I will move this over. So if y'all want to get a screenshot, if you can read my crazy handwriting that I just did a few seconds ago, you're welcome to take a screenshot with these sizes, but I will be posting these on my blog also later. It won't be tomorrow, but hopefully this weekend. But you start off with a piece of designer series paper that is, it comes in a 12 inch, 12 by 12. So it starts off at 12 inches. And then when you cut these down to 4, you're going to get 3 out of each sheet of the 12 by 12. So that's what I did. And it's 10.5 by 4. And then you've got it scored in the middle, which would be at 5 1/4. And then you've also got it scored at 1 1/4. And all you do is simply fold the card like this, and we're going to put it on the card base, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, the typical card base size. We're going to glue this base to that, but the DSP to the base, and then we're going to also do a little stamping. I hope I've given you time with this. The inside piece is 4 3/4 by 3, the white piece. And so I bumped it up 1/4 inch. And so the matted piece is 5 inch by 3 1/4. So it's just 1/4 inch larger than the white. All right. So we are going to go ahead. You can use your favorite liquid glue. You could use glue dots, you can use tear and tape. I just don't happen to have my tear and tape in here and thought I did, so we're just going to put a little bit of liquid glue right on the side right here. Both sides, not quite all the way up, but you want it pretty close to the edge. And I try to kind of give it just a little bit of room in the middle so you have room to tuck that card in there. In fact, you can go ahead and stick it in there so you're not too tight to the edges. Does that make sense? So now we've got those edges glued. That makes our little pocket. Then we're going to take and wrap some ribbon around this. The ribbon that I have on this card came from the Playful Patterns combo pack, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what that's called, but I think that's what it's called. And then this one is the denim ribbon. So we're going to try a little bit thicker one to give it a little bit different look. And if you want to wrap it all the way around like this, you can, and just do a little knot. This might be a little big for a bow. So we're going to go right over left and left over right. And you pull a little bit more on the left. Does that make sense? Pull more on the left. So left over right, right over left, and then pull more on the left. And that will give you a good flat knot if you're patient with it and you have a lot of practice like I have over 15 years of being the demonstrator. And then usually I cut the ends at a diagonal. So that kind of looks like a bow without actually having to tie a bow. So there we go on that one. You see the basis of that simple card. And then we're going to glue this side. I hate to glue it all. It's so pretty, this paper, but that's why I like this. The 3 designs that I'm going to show you today are all friendly to DSP, I guess, because they show both sides. Does that make sense? I can't think of a word besides DSP friendly. Because sometimes you just hate to cover up a side. So that's all that is. So it is going to be, it's not going to be a fold open card. It is just going to be a pocket card. So we're going to take this pocket and find a stamp. And I'm going to use some out of the Mini Mates set today. That is an easy one to punch out. And we've got a tailored tag punch that is this punch. And then we've got, we're gonna stamp a little, or punch out a little white tag. Because as I said, I'm going to do a little bit different one than what the first sample was. Then I'm going to do a little pink one. And we might just see how it looks with a little bit different color, either the navy or the Seaside Spray. We're going to actually stamp that in Night of Navy, the greeting. So let's just, this is kind of how I play when I'm working on a card. We're gonna stamp, get out my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'll put that up there. Maybe y'all will still be able to see it. Okay. Let's do, out of the Mini Mate set, we'll do a happy birthday. And we're just going to mount that to our clear block. And I usually try to line it up on the grid paper. And if you kind of look through your block, where you can see the grid to line this up. Some demonstrators don't line it up because they want to use the stamp. So it just really depends on you and your personality and what you like, how you like to do it. But we are going to see how we like this tailored tag. And we are, as you can see, hopefully, I'm just tap, tap, tap on that Night of Navy, and then I look at it and see if I've got it coated everywhere. I may be a little heavy on the exclamation point, but we're going to try it and see what we think. Try to hover over it. Stamp straight down, straight up, and try not to wiggle. Let it fall out like that. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Let's flip it over and try it again. See if we can get it a little up, just a little bit more central. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, straight down, straight up. Okay, I'm happy with that. Alrighty. Now let's see if I can find my Stampin' Scrub in all of this. I know I have it somewhere. Gonna have to find it, or my chamois, actually. May have to see if my husband will go find it for me. I need a little assistant here. Let's see where that might be. I'll be right back. Steve, Okay, I am back again. Sometimes it's easier to do it yourself than try to explain to somebody else what you need. Have y'all noticed that or had that trouble? Are y'all still there? It looks like it froze up. Huh. My Facebook is frozen up again. Hi, Sherry Hernandez, Cindy's sister. Glad you're here. Thanks, Tanya, for sharing that Playing with Patterns ribbon combo pack. That's great. Okay, we've got the little happy birthday. And I thought that might be cute if we had a little touch of this Seaside spray. And you can use the same punch and do a little outline like that, either on one side or the other. You can cut it in half and have it on both sides. You can choose to do a different punch altogether and see how that works if you want to play with that. So we're going to try that too. And if we don't use it on this card, we might use it on another card. Let's see if we like the combination of the straight lines. No, I think that's kind of overwhelming. But we are going to take the Seaside spray marker. Let's fill that in and then we'll decide how we like this. I think I like the angles better on here. We are going to cut this in half. Do y'all think you want to have this on the side, or should we have it on the top or bottom? Anybody have an opinion? If we cut this in half so that only part of it's showing behind the happy birthday, do y'all think it ought to be this way or that way? To the left or to the bottom? Y'all let me know what you think while I color this in. You can stamp this in any color and then just lightly go in with the marker. And these are two of the colors, Night of Navy and Seaside Spray, are two of the colors that are in the Designer Series paper. And I always like to pick up those colors that are in the paper and repeat those somewhere. You could use the Rococo Rose here if you wanted. You could pick up maybe some of the olive. It's your card, so you get to create it any way you want. And we are just playing today, because like I said, I don't have a sample of it done this way. I haven't done it this way. It's just kind of a fun playtime together. Hope it's good stamping therapy for y'all. I have had a hectic day. I have a full-time job business, and it has suddenly gotten busy. I think people are thinking they might want to start irrigating this season. So, with the blue on the bottom, Susan says, blue on the bottom. Okay, so we are going to cut this. I think we'll just cut it right in half, and we'll see if we want it just on the bottom, like that. Or if you want top and bottom. So you can kind of spread out the same tag. What do you think of that, gals? Y'all like that? With the top and the bottom? Sorry it's dark. We're going to have to work on that, but I kind of like that. I don't see comments yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on the bottom like y'all suggested. And then we'll see if y'all want it on the top too. And I don't seem to have my little glue silicone mat anywhere that I can see either. I thought I got it, but usually I work with that when I'm working with glue. Cindy says she likes on both, so we're going to go with that. Thank y'all for commenting. That helps. I really like the interaction. I feel it more like y'all are here stamping with me when you make comments and let me know your opinions. So thank you for that. Okay, and we are going to pop this up with some dimensionals. And this could be from an old paper pumpkin set that was defective on their dimensionals, but hopefully not. We shall see if I can get the backs off of them. And you could probably get by with just the two. You might want one just in the center also. You might want one up here, but I didn't because I was putting it on top of that. So I just thought that would be cute. Right about there. With the little happy birthday. Now we will use an inside sentiment. And let's put we have a lot of choices here. We've got Celebrate, Today is All About You. This calls for a huge celebration. What do you think? Anybody have an opinion on those? Anything you like in particular that you want on the pocket card? I guess you don't want both of these, so why don't we do Celebrate, Today is All About You. How about that? And I think the pink, the Rococo Rose, and the Seaside Spray are both pretty light for sentiments, so I'm going to stick with the Night of Navy. And I don't know that I've even used this on this stamp set, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to do that. Celebrate, that works. And then take this off and put Today is All About You. And you can do it any way you want. You could put them both at the top, both at the bottom. Whatever makes you happy, that's what you can do. Okay. Now we're going to stamp a little flower. And I'm going to use some of the flowers from the Lovely You stamp set, just because they work well with this one. And I did not get the paper blooms that came with this set, but I really think this one is cute with it. So that's what we're going to do on the inside. We'll just put a little pink flower in the Rococo Rose that matches the card base and the DSP. Just going to put a cute little one right here. Not very good stamping there, Kelly. Don't rush. And if you make a mistake like that, I can't believe I stamped that twice that way. There must be something wrong with that stamp. Right? It can't be operator error. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Rococo Rose marker to fix that little bit, and no one will ever know that we had a little boo-boo there. Do y'all ever have boo-boos? I'm going to put a little bit of the Night of Navy in the center here. Kind of give that a little two-tone effect. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the soft sea foam, and we're going to do a little bit of a leaf coming out of the top up here. Let's see what we want to do. If we want to do that, I think I like that. Sorry, Tanya, just saw the huge celebration. We'll do that on a different one. And when I'm stamping, I kind of like for it to come off the page. And I've talked about this several times, where I like for it to flow kind of where your eye stays on here, if that makes sense. Because you want it to, you want people to linger on your card. You've worked hard at it. Alrighty. So now we're just gonna take a little of the favorite liquid glue. We've got, Stampin' Up! Has Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, which works great too. This is just one I happen to have in this room. So that's what we're using. That's the only product I use. In fact, it's not a Stampin' Up! Brand, I think. Because I love the Stampin' Up! Quality, the Stampin' Up! Papers, the Stampin' Up! Everything we have. The Tombow glue is a little sticky for me, and I make a mess. I think it's operator error. But see how cute that is, how simple that is. That didn't take any time. And you could make it with just about any designer series paper, just as long as you like. Just look at both sides of the paper and make sure you like the way they look together. Make sure there's some color that's picked up in both, or something where you know you like it. And then this just fits in a standard envelope. So you can push it down a little further where your stripes show, or you can pull it up to the top and leave it like that. But I think that's a cute little pocket card. And then if you wanted to sprinkle a couple of embellishments, you could certainly do that. I've got sticky everywhere here. All right, let's see what we like. See if we want to put, maybe since we've got the denim, you could use the holiday rhinestones are still in the catalog, I believe, carried over. And you could put a couple of the navy ones. Do y'all want the navy from the holiday rhinestones? Do you like the basic rhinestones? Or do you want to try the new opal rounds that are beautiful? They are in the mini catalog, the January to June mini catalog, and that would pick up some of the pink colors. So we could do any of those. Let's see what y'all decide. Yes, Tanya, that would be great with a gift card, to stick a gift card in here. You could actually attach the gift card to this. You could just stick a gift card in. You can use a pocket card for a lot of occasions, but it just mails in the envelope. So who would like to see what? Do y'all want to see the opal rounds, the rhinestones? You could also use pearls, or we could use the navy on the holiday rhinestones. What do you like? What do you like? What do you like? Anybody out there have an opinion? I'm not seeing anything yet. Anybody have anything? Still not seeing comments on my iPad. I think that's strange. I don't know. Glad I can see it on my computer. I try to have a backup. Okay. All right. We're going to try the opal rounds. I haven't seen these yet. I'm just going to use one in the center of this flower here and see if that picks up the color. Kind of does. Kind of gives a little interest. They don't have very small ones. That's as small as they have. I don't know if we want to mix them or if y'all want to have one here. Y'all think that's too big? Or how do you like it with the happy birthday? Okay. Oh, y'all said rhinestones. Okay, I'll see if I can get these off real quick. Whoop. I lost my glue. Ah! It have to be a big rhinestone, or we're going to leave that. Okay. I'm thinking the opals were not the best choice for that. They're just kind of big. Okay, we will try the rhinestones and see what we think of those. I'm going to use a little one in the middle of the flower there. Hope to see you soon, Susan. Alrighty. I get the work thing. That kind of gets in the way of playtime sometimes. That jazzed up the birthday, don't you think? I like that. Okay, we're going to move right along to the next card. Okay, let's see what we have going on the next card. And I can't show you a finished one because we don't have one. We are making it on the fly. I did cut out all of the little, I've got all the measurements of what I cut out. I just don't have a finished one to show you. But we're going to do kind of the same thing with the 5 1/4 by, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 base. Let me put this where you can see that, hopefully. And you can take a screenshot of it if you want. I'll move these out of the way so y'all don't have such a mess to look at. There we go. Okay. Move the pads over. Now, we're going to kind of do the same thing with the designer series paper so that we can see both sides, since both sides are really cute on the paper. And you could do this card either way. I liked it with the Night of Navy base. And you could do it with the florals on the inside. What we're going to do is have this Z-fold that comes out like that and then folds back here. So we can do it either way. We can do it that way. This seemed like a lot to me to have on the outside, so I chose to fold it where it'll go this way. All right, and then we're going to take and insert this panel. This is a Seaside Spray with a white piece in here. So that'll be your greeting, and the card will open like this with a greeting on the front. Isn't that pretty? Y'all like that? So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. So we've got that on the base. And the designer series paper starts off like we discussed earlier. It starts off as a 12 by 12, and you cut it to 5 1/2 by 12. So you're going to have a little bitty strip at the end left over because you'll get two 5 1/2 pieces, 5 1/2 by 12 pieces, and then you'll have a little inch strip left over. Excuse me, I need some water real quick. Bear with me. Yes, Cindy, I like this paper too. Okay, so I interrupted myself. The designer series paper was 5 1/2 by 12, and you score it at, whoops, I've already got it covered up here, but you score it at 4 inches, then 8 inches, then 11 inches. And then you just Z-fold it like this. That's what it's going to look like. So here's your 4-inch score, here's your 8-inch score, here's your 11-inch score, and you just fold it back like that and take your bone folder to make sure you've got a good crisp edge. Once you make sure it's lined up good, I would do both of them like that. Okay. And now on the inside, we'll do something a little decorative. We're going to go ahead and glue the base down. And you could make this a little smaller if you wanted more of the DSP over here to show, the designer series paper. But I felt like you've got enough of it here, so I didn't mind having this size. But I do like the liquid glue that gives you a little bit of wiggle room if you don't quite get it exactly like you want it. If you take it up really quickly, you can peel it up and seal it back down. All right. Now, we're going to decide what do we want on the inside of this one. This one looks like it could be, how about if we make this one a Get Well Soon card? It looks kind of cheery, like a Get Well, you think? Let's see. Why don't we put... I'm going to actually cheat and put one. No, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and use them both out of this set. Whoop. All right. we're going to move that to the side. Trying to keep this in view for you so you can see what we're doing. This is also from the Mini Mates set that we were using earlier. We're going to do the Get Well Soon, and we'll stamp that on a little piece of white. And we're going to use a different punch for this one. Let's see how this one goes. I would say, let's see how the Get Well Soon looks on here. And it depends. Are y'all the type who always want to stamp first and then punch? Or do some of y'all punch first and then stamp? It kind of works both ways for me. I just kind of go back and forth a little bit. I think I'm going to do navy again for the greeting. I always like the greeting kind of in the darker color because I feel like it shows up better, reads a little better that way. We're going to do Get Well Soon. Straight down, straight up. Try not to wiggle. There we have it. That looks pretty cheery. All right, now we'll see what we want to do with the little pink flower. We might want to do a little bit of that with the Rococo Rose. See if I've gotten that clean. There we go. Straight down, straight up. Try not to wiggle. I'm going to go a little bit different spot here. And I'm going to put two together over here, kind of offset. We'll see how we like that. It may be too busy, and we may come back and want to just re-stamp that and see what we think. Right now, I was thinking we'd do this, but I don't like it. I think we need the pink. I don't really like that pink. I think that's too busy. Nope, don't like it. Try again. I should have tried the Get Well Soon on there without the flower first. But we're going to try it again. We'll see if we like this with the white greeting. If we don't use the pink on it, and then maybe a little bit of blue greeting. I'm just not going to use the pink. Didn't like that. We'll go back with the Get Well Soon one more time. And usually the stamping does better if you have the pad on a surface that's a little harder. Just do that on your table and then always do your stamping on the Stampin' Pierce mat. We're just going to go back, do that in the center again. Whoop, that's what I said, but I didn't do it. It's a good thing paper has two sides, doesn't it? So we get a little do-over. Love that. That's a little better centered. There we go. And that's with the Night of Navy again. But you could use any greeting on here you wanted to. You could use any punch that you have, any designer series paper that you have. I would say this would be great if we had time to run it through the texture emboss folder of some kind. That would be pretty also. But I think we can, let's see, if we use a little ribbon under here, before I pop that up, I'll see if I can decide what we want to do. We're going to look and see if we like the edges of this. Well, I might use a marker. I'll show y'all that. Let's see. on the Night of Navy. We're going to try it on the one we didn't. Yeah, I think that'll work. We're going to go just along the edge of the Get Well Soon that we just stamped. We're going to take the marker just to kind of give this a little more distinct edge to it. See what we think of this. So you just take your Stampin' Up marker, and a blend would not work as well because it's going to bleed. So your markers don't really bleed like the blends, but sometimes you want the bleeding blends. I don't know why I have like a little pink bar at the bottom. Do y'all have a bar at the bottom of your screen? That is the oddest thing. It's not showing my comments or anything on the iPad, and I've got a big old pink bar down there. Beats me. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the Seaside Spray one. I just think it needs to be a little more distinct. Maybe I'm just used to richer, darker colors and not the pastels, so it's good for me to work with both. What do y'all like the best? Do y'all like the brights or the regals or the subtles or the neutrals? Which of the Stampin' Up! Color families is your fave? I'd love to know that in the comments. And please, if anybody else is out there besides Cindy and Susan and Tanya, hope y'all will let me know that. I love to know when other people are watching. Sometimes after the video, I can tell that other people had tuned in, and I just didn't realize it, so I didn't get to greet you. But I appreciate my regulars coming on, and hope I've got some first-time visitors too this time. Okay, so that was the Night of Navy marker again. And that is indeed upside down. I was thinking, why is that backwards or upside down on the screen? It's because it was upside down. See how that adds just a little touch there that I think we needed. All right, now I'm going to clean this stamp real quickly. My time just got away from me earlier, and I didn't get as organized as I wanted to be before this came on. Okay, we're going to add one on the end and one in the middle, because you don't want to put one all the way over to the right hand side because it could be hanging off that other one. We're going to pop this one out too. Let's see if we like it this way or this way. I think we like it taller. I do. Okay. So let's get that positioned the way we want it. I think these two punches work well together. I don't have the name of them. They're both in the annual catalog. I don't have both of those. This is the Label Me Fancy, I believe. And I think this may be the everyday label. Label Me Lovely is this one. This one I do not have on my stamp. I now start doing that. I cut it off of the little label that comes on the stamp. I mean the punch when I get it, and stick it on the back of the label so I know. But I just started that recently. So I don't have it on this one, but I think it's everyday label punch. Tanya likes the brights. I'm a bright girl too. I like the brights. Okay, let's see how we want to do this. Do we want to do a little of the Playing with Patterns blue ribbon? Do we want the skinny one and a little bow? Do we want the denim just kind of maybe underneath like this? Something like that, and then put a little flower. What do y'all think of that? I kind of like that idea. Let's see how it looks with the, we're going to use the small bloom punch and punch out a flower. And then you can take your take your pick tool or just take your bone folder and kind of curl that flower up a little bit. You can even crumple it up to give it a little more texture. You can use run it across your stamp pad if you want to give it a little color. Let's do a little bit of that. Let's see how this goes. Just kind of tap it in your ink pad. Easy for me to say, right? The tapping was easy, trying to get it off without whoop, nope, that was too much. Let's see if that dries. Nope, a little bit too much. All right. We'll just use a little marker on the edge then. You got to try something and see if you like it before you know whether you like it or not, right? Okay. I'm thinking if we do this, that would be cute with one of the little opals in the middle and a little bit of this ribbon underneath it. I think that'll be great. Okay, we're going to use a little of the Rococo Rose marker. That's a petal pink. That would work too. We'll do the Rococo Rose. Get a little texture on here. And I'm just kind of, y'all can see I'm just kind of flicking it on there, get a little, just for a little texture here and there. Then we're going to put a center in there of the navy. All right. I'm going to crumple it up. Yeah, I like that better. And then let's put a navy center. With the marker. And then I may put an oval or a rhinestone in the middle of that. And that kind of mirrors the types of flowers that are here. Okay. Let's do a little bit of this behind here. I don't think it needs a whole bow, but some of this would be cute. We're going to cut a little bit of that off. And I'm going to use, I would use some glue dots if I could find them. But I had an avalanche of stuff earlier, which once again, if you've seen my office, you get that. I'm going to use a little bit of seal on there to kind of stick the two sides together. And I'll probably go back with some glue dots if this doesn't hold up like I'm hoping it will. We're going to stick it underneath here. That's a little bit long. Well, let's see where we're going to put our flower. I think if we jazz that up a little, that'll work. I'll use a little dimensional for that. I just do not know what happened to my tray that had my glue dots in it. But we'll just dimensional this flower. So you could use either the glue dots and glue it flat, or use a mini dimensional, or use the big ones like I'm using. I think those need to be chopped off a little bit. Probably wasted a little bit of ribbon there. And once again, be careful where you're placing this greeting. You don't want to put your glue where it will go off on this side or off on that side. You want it to be right there in the middle. And I think with everything going on, I'm going to glue that flat. So we're going to just to make sure we're going to get it, we're going to just use the seal right here where it's supposed to go. get it lined up where we want it. I kind of like that at the top and coming down. Lined up there. I think that's pretty cute. Now all we need to do is get a little something on the inside here. And we will be in good shape. All right. We'll see what we want. Whoops, I didn't put a, remind me to put a little rhinestone. I better do it right now on that flower. Y'all liked rhinestones, so that's what we're doing in the middle there. Jazz that up a little. How cute is that? All right. So now on the inside, we've got from the, we'll go ahead and use the Mini Mates. Sorry here. We're going to go ahead and use this. And I'm going to say I would like to use a little bit of that paper on the inside to bring some of that from the outside in. But I didn't bring it in here. So we're going to do something else. We're going to take one of these little pieces. If I can find my scissors. Oh my goodness, thank y'all for being patient with me. Heavens. I think this would be really cute to take one of these little bouquets or a little flower. Let's just stamp something. I think that'll be easier. We'll just stamp something from the Lovely You. We're going to stamp one of those flowers on the inside. And I'm going to use the colors that are on the DSP again. So we're going to use the Night of Navy. Since there's not any green in this paper, they use navy leaves, so that's what we're going to use. Night of Navy and the Rococo Rose. And I would recommend using the light color first. I didn't grab it first, but that way you don't make a mess on your markers. But if you use the two colors like this, you can go back over your darker color again. It just looks like this marker has been around a while, so I might need another one of those. This one's much juicier. But you're going to huff on it, and that will re-moisten. Whoop, sorry about that. It jumped out of my hand. Did y'all see that? You'll re-moisten the stamp after if you do the two colors like that. Here we go. Next, we're going to say, we're going to grab our Night of Navy again. Get this going. Get this out of your way. And I just think this is cute. The little stamp just says, better yet. So you've got get well soon on the front and better yet on the inside. Like your card works magic, because I believe a lot of these handmade cards really do work a lot of magic for people. It really is heartwarming for folks to get your handmade card. It really is meaningful. I know I hear that over and over from people, that how much it meant, that they really needed a card that day, and that it really meant a lot to them. So I am thrilled to be in the business of helping people get over illness or feeling bad or in the dumps or depressed a little bit. It not only helps you if you're kind of feeling sorry for yourself or you've had a rough day, to do a little therapy. at doing some card making. And then it helps the recipient so much also, because they love to receive a handmade card. There you go. How fun is that? Just a little get well soon card, but it's bright and cheery and simple to make. But you can see how this template could be used for any kind of designer series paper. But again, you just have to like both sides of the paper together, like this one. But I think just tying in those colors works well. Y'all like that one? Okay, we've got one more, unless y'all are ready to hit the hay. Tanya's saying in the past month she's gotten letters from people that are really happy to know that she was thinking about them. So it really is amazing how people will respond to a handmade card. So I'm glad y'all are getting into the crafts, the paper crafting and handmade card making. And I'd love to help you any way I can. I will be having classes coming up in my home, if y'all are comfortable with that. And if you're not comfortable with that, but would like to learn more, I do have class kits to go. And I am posting information on my blog and really trying to get my name out there. So I appreciate y'all sharing on Facebook and letting other people know who might be interested in crafting with us. Okay, I'm going to take that card. And that was Mary Nabe, was the one who first showed me a fold back card on one of her videos. And she also showed this one on a video. It was not with this paper, either of these papers, but it just shows you how flexible it is to work with different papers. Okay, this one, the base is 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is the 5 1/2 side. This is typical. So that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 when that's folded. So this is just an extra inch here. So instead of 4 1/4, you cut it at 5 1/4. So here's your typical card base size, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And you score it at 4 1/4. That's typical. The only thing we did differently on this is cut that off at with an inch flap over here. So from here to here, it's 5 1/4. Or if you want to measure it from the score line that's at 4 1/4, it's just an inch in that way. And then you can save this and use it for another card. Then on this one, we're going to put this where we want it. This is going to actually be like the front of the card. And all we do is put a little line of glue here. Whatever your favorite liquid glue is, you could use the Stampin' Seal, you could use whatever you want to use right there. You could use tear and tape, you could use Stampin' Seal Plus, anything. Okay, we've got that there. Now look, magically, we have an inside to our card. How cute is that? I had not ever thought of doing that with just a little simple flap. How fun is that? Okay, and then I thought it needed to tie in that pink a little bit, so we're going to put a pink layer in here. If you wanted more of the blue or the base to show, you could make this a little smaller. This one I actually just made a 1/4 inch in from the base, so the matted part here is 4 by 5 1/4, and then the white inside piece is 3 3/4 by 5. But I always want to stamp on it first before I glue it, so I've got a do-over side. And then I thought I need something that will tie the blue and the pink together on the inside as well as on the outside. So whenever you cut your 12 by 12 piece into 2 of the 5 1/2 by 12s, then it leaves a little extra inch. So that's what I'm using here, is that little scrap. We're going to put that on the side there. First, we'll stamp on the inside, put a greeting on the outside, and we'll be done. Easy, easy. I think I may just use that same flower that we just used with the same markers because we've got it out here handy. How about that idea? And this, once again, is from the Lovely You stamp set. It has really some pretty florals and some really pretty greetings, which we're going to use one of those in a minute. Alrighty, we're going to go with the Rococo Rose flower again. and quickly do the leaves and stem with the Night of Navy. Huff on it. Stamp on it with just one layer. And maybe we'll do both. We'll do one in the top corner and one in the bottom corner on this one, just for a little bit different look. Let's go with the Rococo Rose for the flower. And remember to do that first, so that if you get one marker on the other, it's better to get your dark marker on your light than vice versa. You don't want the navy in your pink marker at all, so this keeps that from happening. Okay, we're going to do one to kind of frame the greeting. We'll just do one flower like this. There we go. Easy peasy. All right. Now we're going to have, because I'm thinking of my friend Charlotte, who's gotten to join me several times, but her husband has been in the hospital. He's been moved to rehab, so that's a good thing. But she is one of my cherished friends, and I want to send this card to her. She didn't get to tune in tonight. I do not have a long enough block, I don't think, for this, but maybe this will work. We're going to see. I'm not sure about how. I need a longer block. We do have different block sizes, but I don't have one in my room with me right now. So we're going to see how this works. And I'm going to try it on scrap paper first. Just in case. Because you really want your... Yeah, that worked. I got a little extra at the end, but that worked. We'll watch that. And if you haven't used your stamp, like I haven't used this one, it's always good to put it off on scrap paper once or twice before you stamp it on your card. Kind of break it in, if you know what I mean. Okay, so on the front, I'm going to put Cherished Friend. And on the inside, I'm going to say miles apart, but still in my heart. How sweet is that sentiment? Wouldn't anybody love to get that? I would think so. All right, we're going to go ahead and glue that in. I love having somebody in mind doing a card. I don't always. Sometimes I make multiples, and then I think later of who that might be a good card to send to, because it is easier when you're making them to make some multiples. And sometimes it's good to make the card and then just leave the greeting until last, until you know who it's for. But in this case, I thought of her right away when I saw Cherished Friend and miles apart but still in my heart. So we're going to do the Cherished Friend on a little strip of white that I had out here a minute ago. Hang on just a second, I'll find that. Or we'll just cut another little piece. I'm going to see if it'll fit on this little strip right here. And this is the part that if you're cutting the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 or 4 by 5 1/4 insides to cards, you usually have a strip like this left of your basic white. So that's what I'm using as kind of a scrap piece. I keep these. All right, that's pretty good. I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to show you how to use the tailored tag that I used on that first card. I want to show you real quick how you can make not only a banner end with it, but an arrow end. Let's see if we want to do both or what we want to do on this one. I might just want to do a banner end. But all you do is just center it, figure out kind of where you want it, center it in the punch, and you kind of get it where you think you want it and tighten it up a little bit and then punch. And there you have a banner end. We can go all the way across with it like that and maybe tie a little bow here. Let's just see what we like. You could do just like a little arrow there. Let's see if we want the denim. I think we'll just go ahead and use the denim ribbon. Let's see if we want to tie a bow or just do a knot. And then we'll trim the end if we want to. I think I'm doing this backwards from what I usually do. For some reason, I do better when my ribbon is on the right. Over here. Nope. Okay, we're gonna... I still feel backwards. There we go. I'm going to say right over left. I've got to cut it for that. There we go. We're going to see, I think I'm going to want a bow and not a knot. Okay, I'm going to see if I can make a teeny tiny bow while on camera. I may have to have more ribbon than this. We shall see. You don't know till you try. This denim ribbon is pretty. I just had not ordered it until recently and just got it in yesterday. So this is my first play with it. And every ribbon is different on how it behaves and whether it lays flat or whether it looks better in a bow or a knot or what. So that's been kind of fun to get to play with y'all tonight and see what we think of the ribbon. I think the bow is cute. Let's see how we want to do that. If we want a flower behind it. We want it at an angle. If we want to chop that off and then put that. Thanks for the bow compliment, Tanya. Do y'all like top, middle, bottom? Not quite bottom, not quite top. Do we want this over here, that over there? That doesn't really work, does it? What are we thinking? Do we want another little pink flower or 2 or 3 pink flowers? If I knew what I was doing for upcoming classes, I would know which paper I could cut up. But you could cut, if you chose this little paper blooms pack as your free gift, free celebration gift, you would have a lot of little flowers that you could fussy cut out. And that's too big for it. I don't think that flower works. Y'all think we need a flower stamped back here? Maybe? Have any suggestions? Things you want to see? Anybody else out there, Tanya? Yeah, that lovely used stamp set is great. I just know I'm trying to cut this off here. I didn't mean for it to, I want it to fit in an hour. Okay. Let's see if we do this. Maybe this is what it needs. I could use my bow somewhere else if we decide we want this. Nope. Maybe make it like a package, like that. I just don't like the white showing. I think I'm going to trim that off. I don't have my little trimmer here handy, so we're going to hide that underneath here. Maybe do it like it. See if we want 4 tails or not, or what. How we want this. Too much? Too fussy? Too many tails? Do we cut off 2 tails and just leave the bow? And Tanya said bottom third. We'll show you how to move the ribbon to get that if you change your mind and want to do something like that. That looks kind of funny with 2, doesn't it? Sorry I didn't have a finished one here that I had worked on designing for a while. What do you think of that? Y'all like just you like the bottom third or the top? You want the knot or the flower? Or the bow on the knot and cut the tails? I think I'm going to pop that up. And we're going to finish this up. I appreciate y'all's patience with me and hope you've learned something new to play with your DSP so that you can get to see both sides of it. We have 3 different ways to do that. Oops, I don't like the white showing. Through stamping, so we're going to get rid of that. What do you think of the little flower? Chop that off a little. I think that's kind of cute how it picks up the color. I don't think it would ever sit right on top, but I think it'll work underneath there and kind of put this as the center of the flower. Cut that a little shorter. We're going to try that. Don't know that I've ever done that. Oops. You can't get in a hurry with your scissors. And you always have a separate set of ribbon scissors. And I think we'll do the edges of this, just the very edges, and we will be done. We will call it done for the knot. So just remember, everybody, Sale-a-bration is over on Saturday. A lot of you are used to having 3 months at a time. And this year, it is 2 months, January, February, and then it will be another 2 months in the summer. I believe it's going to be June, July, but it may be July, August. I'm not sure if all that's been set yet. But we do get actually an extra month in the year with Sale-a-bration. It's just not all together at one time like it normally is. So, you got to get your orders in. Alrighty, we're going to put a little glue in the center there. And I would recommend using a glue dot. If I had one handy, that is what I would use. But we are going to just use glue for now, just a liquid glue. Put the little flower center in there and call it good. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2005. And I have a blog at createwithkelley.com, and Kelley is spelled K-E-L-L-E-Y. Hope you'll join me on the blog to find out more of the Stampin' Up! News and what classes I have coming up. I have in-person classes, and I have kits to go. I'm just trying all kinds of things, so I'd love to know what y'all are interested in. If you'll subscribe to the blog, that would be awesome. And be sure, if you want this Paper Blooms Designer Series paper, you can place an order. I'll help you with that. If you'd like to do my host code, I can get you that information. And I'm happy to help any way I can. I do not see my other card that I did tonight, but this is one of the pocket cards that we did. That is my sample, at least. My goodness, here it is. This is the one we actually did tonight. I'll leave these 3 up. Move that over a little bit so you can see it a little better. If anybody has any questions or is interested in anything in particular that I can help you with, let me know. That's a little crooked. Let's fix that. Which one is your favorite? Anybody? Anybody have a favorite card? Yes, Sunday is the 28th. I keep saying Saturday, Tanya. Thank you. It's February 28th is the last day of Sale-a-bration this go around. So if you're interested in that, I'll get you a catalog, or you can look online. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm going to try to get that where it's right in the camera. You got all kinds of things in the camera that I don't want in the camera. Somehow I'm not centered the same tonight as I usually am. And I appreciate you tuning in. Let me know if you need anything. I'll turn you back up real quick and let you go. Hang on. Let me find my little Post-it note to cover up the camera so we can come back up and say bye. Here we go. Thanks so much again for tuning in and learning all about Sale-a-bration and Designer Series papers. I hope you learned something new with some different folds tonight and a way to use your Designer Series paper where you can see both sides of it. Quite a lot of fun to try something new, isn't it? Would love to help you. Just call me or email me. You can go and please subscribe to my blog and like the Facebook page if you'd like to join the group called Create with Kelley Crew that I just now remembered I didn't actually do this live on that group. I forget to do everything. There's a long list of things to remember, and I still have foggy brain. So thank y'all again for tuning in. Good to see you. Hope to see you soon. Fun times ahead. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.